Hello, everyone. Welcome to Highly Intelligent. I'm joined by a very special guest today. If you'd like to introduce yourself, you can go for that.
Hello, everybody. My name is Travis Ridgen. I'm number 33 for the Motor City Rockers. I'm bench warmer, door opener, as the people in Motor City like to call me. I make YouTube videos and I do a podcast as well. And it's a pleasure to be on your podcast today. How's that for my intro? I feel like I was just like at an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting.
I
I'm
mean, that
Travis.
was I was pretty fire, so works.
Awesome.
You're so I got a question before we get this going. What do you mean by a glorified cheese grater to someone who doesn't know hockey terms?
So glorified cheese grater would be because there's holes in the actual grater, so like you can
Yeah,
find ways to like fit the cheese through. I'm just a more famous version of a cheese grater. I'm more well known than a cheese grater, which you could argue because most families have a cheese grater in their home. But that's basically the analogy.
I see. I see. Well, how'd you get into hockey? How long you been doing it?
When did I get into hockey? I was 4 years old,
I
26
see.
now, and my dad took me skating for the first ever time. It was an old rink, it smelled like propane, like one of like those gas burning arenas. It's still around to this day, actually. Hasn't changed a bit since I first skated there. And he just took me on the ice and gave me a chair and told me to start pushing. And I remember very distinctly at 4 years old, kicking and screaming and crying and telling my dad, I hate this. This isn't very fun. Obviously, I wasn't very good
Mhm.
at it. And then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, I started enjoying it. And then boom, here we are 22 years plus later, and I'm still doing it, I guess.
Dang. So, like, how did you get into professional hockey? Did you play it in like high school and then get a scholarship or something?
So I'm from Canada, so it works a little bit differently than the U.S. So I,
I
I played
see.
I played AAA hockey as a kid, and then I played high school as well for 1 year. And then I had a very very brief cup of coffee. You could almost say a creamer of coffee in
I see.
English River in Junior A in the Superior International Junior League, and that was for a year. Well, 15 minutes of a year or 16 minutes of a year I played, and then I spent the next 3 years doing Junior B in Manitoba, and then my last year junior, I had a really good year. Actually, probably the best statistical year that I've had in my career, still up to this date. And I ended up committing to play college hockey at Vancouver Island University in Vancouver Island, BC. That didn't go great. I wasn't a good fit for the program. The program probably wasn't a good fit for me. So then I ended up trying to dabble my hands in other universities and Columbus and the Fed as well, in the Fed Zeno, and that didn't work out. And then COVID happened and everything shut down. And spent 2 years in Sweden, which was awesome. I miss it a lot. Spent 1 year on the east side of Sweden in Stockholm, kind of the Toronto of Sweden or the New York of Sweden. And then last year, I guess you could say now last year, was on the west coast of Sweden in Gothenburg, which would be the Vancouver or the Los Angeles of Sweden. And then fast forward to the summer, I got signed by Motor City for the Rockers, and then came on down. And that's when I guess you saw the clip of me that when I posted opening the door, opening the gate, and bingo. And
Yeah.
yeah, here we are. Fast forward, and I got hip surgery in January, and I'm just going to start skating for the first time next week, which is great because I haven't skated probably since the end of November, so it's been a while.
What happened with your hip? Do you want to talk about that?
Sure, yeah. So it's basically more of a like the straw that kind of broke the camel's back kind of deal. So
Yeah.
like, a lot of goalies deal with hip impingement issues, which is basically like your femur grows a bone growth to stop you internally rotating, which is every single move you make as a goaltender. Some guys have it and they don't notice symptoms. Some guys have it really bad and notice symptoms. And I was on the worst of the two ends. Very, very common in tall goalies. Like I'm 6'5", 195 centimeters. So it's very, very common in that sense. Um, I remember I had a groin tear my first year junior B, like a really bad one. It kept me out for like 4 or 5 months. And that was kind of the start because my surgeon told me, he's like, most guys, it starts with a groin injury or something of that nature. And then it kind of goes back as you try to protect the injury. And over the years, I just noticed like my mobility, being reduced year in and year out. My flexibility kind of going down, more clamping, cramping, pinching in the hip area. And then it kind of got to the point where my last year in Sweden, basically, I guess December of 21, up until now, I mean, still present day, there hasn't been a single, like one time where I've been able to skate without steroid injections in my knee because I was making so many compensations for my hip to not put strain on it because it's just chronic pain day in and day out that I was developing like knee injuries and knee issues, and those were getting gnarly. And they get to the point where like I couldn't get it to calm down. Like there was no diet, no mobility routine, no workout regimen, no rest, nothing that would get it to calm down except for steroids. It was the only thing that would fix it. So from December of 21 until I guess this season in Motor City, that's how I got through. And then I was on my third dose of steroids to keep my knee calm. And then obviously it's great when you get it. You feel like invincible, like brand new knee. But then as it starts to wear off, it's like, oh, here we go again. So towards the end of November, I would even say like end of October, beginning of November in Motor City, I started to kind of feel things happening again and thinking, oh God, here we go again. And then just towards the end of November, like I went as long and as hard as I could. And then it just got to the point one day where in practice where I was like, I don't have anything left to give you. Like I physically can't do the job anymore. I'd met with my surgeon over the summer. I met him for the first time in June. One of the problems in Canada, I guess, with the healthcare system is it's so difficult to get in to see these specialists. And I finally, then COVID made it even 10 times worse. So I was finally able to get in to see him in June of and he basically told me, he's like, there's no way you're going to finish the season, dude. Like, you need surgery. And I was like, well, that's not how it's going to work because I need to start the season. And we were like, okay, well, we're going to take some, cortisone injections, and that's the way it's going to be. So we booked the surgery date and just kind of kept pushing it back until I couldn't do it anymore. And then in November, I just told the team, I'm like, I'm sorry, like I can't stop puck shoot. Like I'm in so much pain. I'm like in tears under my mask. Like I'm in so much chronic pain. Like, I don't want to do this. I just want to get this fixed. And I can happily say that since I got the surgery, like after the surgery, it was almost like instant relief. I could, it might've been all the drugs I was on too. I just felt the chronic pain gone, the day-to-day, aches, everything was gone. And to this day, since I got the surgery, like I feel great. I don't have that chronic pain anymore, like at all. I feel loose. I feel like I can go, longer periods of time without stretching or doing mobility and things stay calm. I have more range than I ever have. I just feel like, I feel almost like a new goalie, and I only got one hip done. So I could only imagine if they fix the other one, how good they could be, but it's good. I'm excited to see what I can do once I start skating and kind of showing off the new features of this new body.
Yeah. Do you think there's a more ergonomic way to like goaltend? Because I was watching videos of you goaltend and your legs are just bending in ways they should not be bending on a everyday basis.
The thing is, the game has changed so much that it's the only way to play the game. The game is so fast. Guys are so good. Like reverse VHs, reverse plays are critical to maintaining any form of success in today's game. Unfortunately, I think that is doing the most torque and most damage in goalies' bodies, myself included. I just think the way that the game's played, like there's no other way to play the game. Like the game is 95% on your knees. You're making saves in your butterfly. You're moving around in the butterfly. Like the blocking butterfly has become a stance and become almost a style in today's goaltending. So it's difficult. Like only survival of the fittest. Only the strongest survive. And if you have good genetics that will allow you to stay healthy and play the game the way that you need to, you're going to succeed. If you're like me and you're a band-aid, well, you're going to have a very hard time. But hopefully, this genetic change, shall we say, as my surgeon calls it, he says. This all the time. He's like, you got two ways to fix this: get better parents or come see me. And I did the second of the two. So hopefully that'll change a lot.
Yeah. So what happened from going into the pro league to ending up in like Sweden and then getting signed by the Motor City Rockers? Like, was there like a gradual progression there that you saw that you were making more progress in the last season?
I think so. I think I've been making progress like my entire career, if I'm being honest. I think there's a reason why there's so many guys that have played higher levels than me and that are genuinely better than me, but over time they fall off the cliff, and then there's me 20 kilometers back slowly catching up, and then I'm passing them because I just I'm slow and steady. I will win the race eventually. So every single day when I go to the rink, I come with the purpose of trying to change something or and not just for the sake of change, but actually like asking myself critically, like, what needs to be fixed? What is a weakness? How can we accommodate this? How can I accommodate the team better and do a better job of helping them? Just stuff like that every single day. And I love the game, man. Like, this is the greatest thing I think I've ever accomplished in my life, is being able to play hockey for a living. and I wouldn't trade it for the world. And I'm very grateful and blessed that is what I get to do every day. So I want to ideally keep that train rolling.
What made you want to be a goaltender?
Oh boy, I was 9 years old, just about to turn 10, and I remember I was at school one day, and we had like school book fairs back when you could have book fairs, and they had like books, posters, all these things they'd sell. And I remember walking to the library one day, and they put a poster of Miki Kiprusoff, a former Flames goalie, and this was right after their Cup final run from '04, and there's a picture of him in his stance with the thick gear, the black horse, the Blasky Flames jersey, and I just remember walking up to that at 9 years old, seeing that poster, thinking like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go tell my parents tonight. And after some pushback, they finally agreed. And fast forward, I guess 16 years, and I'm still a goalie, so it's worked out.
Nice. So, how many goalies does a team usually have?
It depends on the team, and it also depends on the league. So in junior, they would carry 2. College, they'll carry 3 to 5, which is crazy. Pro, historically, the Fed has always carried 2 goalies. For whatever reason, this year all teams are carrying 3. The only exceptions being Carolina only did 2. Who else only did 2? Motor City, we had 3. Mississippi had like 9, which is crazy. Carolina 2. Watertown 2 to 3 as of late. Port Huron's gone to like 5. It's crazy. Actually, they've been going to a lot of goalies. Binghamton, they've had 3, and then Danbury's had 2. Delaware 2 to 3. So I guess that's the best answer I can give you.
I see. So I was listening to your podcast, and you were talking about like a way to preserve goalies, like by swapping them out. Do you think that it would be better to continuously swap goalies during a game, or stick to a guy that's really good?
I think sticking to the guy that's really good has been the foundation, because you know what you're going to get. It's a predictable result for the team. You know what I mean? Like the team knows how to perform in front of one guy. I don't think. I think there's a lot of progress that needs to be made to get more like a baseball approach of switching between 6 to 8 goalies and playing more games. But I don't really know if there's a way to preserve goalies. To be honest with you, like good mobility, good genetics. I don't really know, man. Like the game takes a toll on the body. Like I truly do believe mixed martial arts is the most difficult sport on the body, but goaltending is probably the most unnatural sport in the world. Like there is no athletic position or sport or any movement on earth that simulates what you do in goaltending, where you're constantly internally rotating your hip both at the same time, moving with flexion, and you're required to be mobile and powerful at the same time. Like there's nowhere else on earth you do that.
I see. So do you think that there's going to be a point where you can't do hockey anymore because of the toll that it's taken on you?
Like me personally?
Yeah.
I think the day will come for sure. I mean, I don't have the greatest genetics being a big guy. I mean, being a big guy is great. Pucks find a way to hit you somehow, which is, somehow saved my career. God bless for that. But big guys break down faster, sadly. You know what I mean? So
I see.
Think of you get like a little beagle, a cute little beagle. That thing will last you maybe, I don't know, maybe 11 to 14 years, give or take. You get like a big Great Dane, one of those like 200 pounders. That thing ain't living past 10. Like that thing's going to be gone before then. Like they're just huge dogs, and they take a toll on the body. So but there will be a time. I like to think in my head I got 3 to 5 years left, depending on how the body holds up mentally, where the world goes. There's a lot of variables at play, but I like to think in that 3 to 5 year ballpark, ideally.
Are you making enough to support yourself?
Yeah, I've been full time. I haven't worked a real job in coming up on almost 5 years now.
Dang. I mean, that's got to be the dream.
It was hard, dude. It's nice now, where I get a little bit more flexibility with things. Like adding the podcast to the revenue stream with the blog has been game changing. So like getting surgery, I'm not worried about, I don't have a YouTube blog for this week. Well, the podcast will carry on. Like I don't need to skate. I don't really need to do anything. I just need a microphone and internet connection to do the show. So, but I remember when I wasn't full time. This is right before I went full time. I was making videos at VIU college hockey, and I was on scholarship money. So I was living for free and getting $600 a month cash to go to school, which is crazy. It was great. but I was constantly thinking, like, how am I going to turn this full time? Because once school's done, the sponsorship money's gone. I got to go back to paying for living, all this kind of stuff. And so I went 2 months straight consecutively where I will upload 5 YouTube videos every single week. From
Dang.
Monday to Friday, a new video for 2 months straight. And that helped a lot to, push myself a little bit over the edge temporarily, like into full-time money. But the problem is, like, try making 5 videos a week. It's hard.
Yeah.
Really, really hard. And then so I would say September of 2019, I rolled 3 videos a week, which is significantly more sustainable, believe it or not. And I did that for a year and a half. So yeah, 3 videos a week for a year and a half. I think there was a little stretch. Maybe there might have been like 2 or 3 weeks where I only was able to get out 2 videos that week just because of traveling or whatever else I was doing. But like that year and a half span was what, fully pushed me over the edge from, oh shit, if I have a bad month, I may need a job, or I'm kind of like on edge, to like the financial and the algorithmic growth on YouTube that I sustained in that period of time was life changing, to the point now where I don't really have to worry about that. I can just focus on getting my hip healthy. I can focus on playing. I can focus on doing the podcast, doing other things that I love, as opposed to being stressed about it, because it is hard. Like when you're on that fence of, I'm making part-time money, I could make full-time money, but I'm not there yet. But I'm really gonna have to dive in to go full-time. It's very, very challenging. But I'm again beyond blessed to do this for a living and not have to work a real job. Like, this is what I do every single day.
I see. So, getting a little deep here.
Yeah.
Why do you play hockey over other sports?
I just love it. You could say that I'm afraid of change, or afraid to lose it, but I've been playing since I was 4. I've always had an enjoyment to the position. I think goaltending too is one of those things that's so intricate and detail driven that even though in all reality I do the same thing every single day when I skate, like nothing really changes, but the details, the micro details change every single day. Glove positioning, head positioning, the way we're reading the play, the way we're thinking, the stick placement, all these things change on a play-to-play basis. And I think that intricacy, that detailed challenge of perfecting goaltending, I think is what keeps my OCD and my ADD very happy, and keeps them busy and keeps the hamster wheel rolling on the tracks. And I don't know, I just enjoy it. I enjoy stopping pucks. It's a good feeling. The gear is sweet. Good style is always key. I like being a guy with good style as well. That keeps me excited.
You want to talk about your gear? Because I know
Sure.
you're very particular. I've seen a bunch of videos about your gear.
Yeah, I get some shit on for how particular I am about my gear, but I like what I like. I think a lot of people ask me, like, hey, should I get these skates or this skate? What's the difference between this stick and that stick? Whether will this help me or that help me? Like the reason why I've become very knowledgeable in this stuff is a lot of trial and error. Like, I've tried every glove break you can possibly try for goalie gloves, so I can officially say, like, I know what they all feel like. I know the pros and the cons. I know what works for me. I've tried every single stick length from a 23-inch paddle to a 27. I've tried shaving them. I've tried not shaving them. I've tried different blades, different shaft length, everything. I've tried all these different combinations. The only difference maybe being pads, because pads are so expensive, it is difficult to play around. You just kind of hope you find what you like.
Yeah.
But I played around so much where I've just gotten a very specific acquired taste of what I like when I play, and what I want the gear to accommodate and how I want it to play. I guess, yeah, I don't know if that really answers your question, but
So is there like a shortage in high quality hockey gear makers?
absolutely. I think everybody, the old saying, they don't make it like they used to. I mean, you look at, let's say, like gym equipment, for example. I mean, the way they used to, like, people got those old school, like New York, or those York style bodybuilding gyms in their homes from like the 80s and 90s, and they're still holding strong. They're built like a truck. And you see like the new stuff and it falls apart. And that's kind of like what goaltending is like. I remember being a kid, you could probably get 2 to 3 years out of your gear. Now, even using the pro stuff, like I'm fortunate enough where I get to use the pro stuff, and a season, that's it, really. Like, I don't know how you milk any more out of it, because after that it breaks down so much that you can't play with it the same way that it was when you first got it. Like, I remember I got a LaFave set of gear. They invited me down to the factory. They sized me up and they hooked me up on the house, which was awesome. First year I used gear was fantastic. It was great. Never noticed any issues at all. And I got a little ballsy and said, I'm going to squeak out another year. I'm going to see if I can get 2 years out of it. And then less than a month later, I started noticing, okay, now the gloves cracked. Okay, the pads are getting really soft and the Velcros are starting to fray. The blocker palms are ripping. Like all these things are breaking down. So if there was an amazing, overwhelmingly great gear manufacturer, I'd be using them, but I haven't found them. Bauer stuff falls apart. True can't make my order right. The Warrior stuff is great. I haven't had a chance to use it. I got a new set coming any day. It should be in now, hopefully. So, yeah, so we need more high quality, high performance driven gear manufacturers.
Yeah, for sure. So, what do you think would make your ideal set of gear? Like, what makes a good glove versus a bad glove? You know?
Good glove closes great out of the box. Good glove has a good feel. It's light. It has the right catching angle that I prefer, which is a 90-degree catch, like a 580 kind of catch. I like a skate lace pocket. I think that softer feel is nice. I've always liked a single T glove, but for whatever reason, the Lefebvre gloves, I've really enjoyed their double Ts. So depending on the glove manufacturer, a little bit of that, and I think a good custom graphic and good style is critical. It's essential for good style.
I see.
I know I'm saying this as I wear all white advertising branded gear in Motor City, but I'm a big style guy.
I see. So, are you allowed to like brand your equipment with stuff that you want?
Nobody said anything else to me, so I don't see what the problem is.
I see.
Like we get paid $125 a week, man. Like I think that everybody in the league realizes how broke we are. Like from like making money as professional athletes kind of side.
Yeah.
And like nobody puts ads on my gear. I know in Europe they're all over that shit. So like if the team don't want to put ads and the team doesn't say anything about it, well, like that's free advertising space. I just got to find somebody to pay me to put ads on it, and then boom, we're rolling. So
Nice.
yeah, I don't know why more guys aren't doing it. It's free money right there.
So, when it comes to like the protective gear, does it like the face mask? Have you ever been hit in the face with a hockey puck?
Many, many, many times.
With or without the mask?
All with the mask. I got
I
hit one
see.
time in college. I was getting water at the bench, and a puck ramped off a guy's stick, and he hit me kind of like right here in the chin. Thank
Dang.
God it wasn't any higher, because it would have hit me right in the teeth. But
Yeah, I saw you got all your teeth still, so you're doing pretty good so far.
I do. I paid a lot of money for these teeth too, so I like to keep them ideally.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, I guess that's about all my questions. I mean,
some intricate questions.
yeah, thank you. Is there anything that you would like to plug or talk about?
You can check out my YouTube vlog. Do new videos every Sunday. Might miss this week's episode, but yeah, trying to do every Sunday instead of the podcast Slangin the Bizkit on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. Starting skating soon, which is exciting. I might potentially rejoin the Motor City Rockers for the playoffs, depending on what they want to do. I've made it very clear to them that I am skating this week, and if all goes well, I will be available to practice with the team. I won't be able to play any games, but I'll be there to practice potentially, and we can go from there and see how things go. So I'll be back from the Fed at some point somewhere. I don't know where or when, but I'll be back. So don't worry.
Nice. Well, thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Anytime, man. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, you have a good day. And this has been Highly Intelligent with Travis Ridgen. And you guys have a good day as well.
Awesome, buddy.